Have you ever considered getting a dog or even a cat? Well, October is National Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. According to Civic Science, 3.7 million dogs each year enter animal shelters. 1.4 of those are adopted, and 1.2 of those are euthanized. Now, when adopting or when looking to get a dog or a cat, it's important to pay attention to characteristics like their age, their personality, and their breed. Oftentimes, when people are looking, they'll get too hung up on what an animal may look like or their breed standard. Now, this will lead to looking into pet shops and backyard breeders. Pet shops rely oftentimes solely on their supply from puppy mills. Puppy mills are bad because the environment of a puppy mill is very unsanitary. Oftentimes, there is not a lot of space at all. So this will cause the dogs to be in close proximity of each other. And it's really just not a good place to be as an animal. This will lead to the animals becoming sick, stressed, and overall just poorly socialized. Additionally, the animals themselves will be diagnosed with illnesses, and this can contribute to outbreaks in people, like human outbreaks. Now, backyard breeders, on the other hand, they contribute to the overpopulation of certain breeds. So, I work in a dog kennel, and I can personally attest to the overpopulation of golden doodles. Yes, golden doodles, a fan favorite for the backyard breeders. When an animal is in a backyard breeding situation, oftentimes the offspring of these animals that they're breeding will have genetic defects. They'll just have severe health issues, and they aren't being taken care of, so that can cause behavioral issues. And these animals are not socialized well, and the people in charge of these animals oftentimes are not very knowledgeable about dogs or cats or whatever they may be selling. And the people in charge of these corporations are not in it for the animals. They're in it for the money. And what is not funny but ironic about this situation is that the dogs and the cats that the puppy mills and the pet shops and the backyard breeders, those animals, when they have problems like I've listed, behavioral problems, health problems, genetic defects, etc., they will end up in animal shelters. And if these animals aren't being adopted, then they're being euthanized. So it's important for us as people to not support establishments like this, because that's the only way that it's gonna stop. And we as people have a responsibility to speak for those who cannot, the animals being who cannot speak. Now, Civic Science did a poll on why people may not want to adopt animals. Oftentimes, people will choose to not adopt animals because they want a purebred dog. In my opinion, it's more important to have a healthy dog than a pretty dog, but to each their own. Civic Science also did a poll on whether people would be more likely to adopt or buy a dog. Um, 16% of people said that they would buy their dog from a breeder, and 2% of people said that they would buy a dog from a pet store. Thankfully, a whopping 51% of people chose to adopt a dog from a shelter. If you have not already, I would urge you to go to petfinder.com and just look around. There are hundreds of cats and hundreds of dogs just in the Howard County area that are homeless and in need of homes, and the shelters need space. So I hope that I have at least given you a different perspective on why it's important to adopt as opposed to shop. And I wanted to list my sources. First, I used civicscience.com. Secondly, I used nationalhumanesociety.org. And third, I used worldwideveterinaryservices.org.